It's a trip. 1923's Spencer actor reacts to Dutton family's Yellowstone ending. As he reflects the impact on his character, 1923 star Brandon Sklenar, who portrays Spencer Dutton, addresses the conclusion of Yellowstone and how it connects to his character's storyline. Yellowstone, created by Taylor Sheridan, follows the Dutton family's control over the largest ranch in Montana, facing legal battles, rival factions, and internal conflicts. Multiple Yellowstone spin-offs have been born from the flagship series, including 1883 and 1923, with more in development. Speaking with RadioTimes.com, Sklenar described how it felt to witness the outcome of the Dutton family's future. He acknowledged being aware of Yellowstone's finale beforehand, but it kept his focus on Spencer's journey in 1923. The actor discussed how seeing the Dutton house in 1923 compared to its later state in Yellowstone was a striking experience. He also noted the tonal contrast between the two series and emphasized that 1923 has its own distinct mood separate from the main series. Check out his comments below. He also spoke about filming in the Dutton house, describing it as a weird feeling since it's the same house where Kevin Costner would play John Dutton. Sklenar's reaction reinforces the narrative connection between 1923 and Yellowstone, demonstrating the long-term trajectory of the Dutton family across generations. 1923, set during Prohibition and the Great Depression, expands on the struggles faced by the Duttons as they fight to maintain their land. Spencer is far from Montana for much of Season 1, but his eventual return to the ranch links his character's journey to the events that follow in Yellowstone. Moreover, Taylor Sheridan has constructed a multi-series timeline that depicts the rise and fall of the Duttons, with 1883 serving as the foundation, 1923 exploring economic and political challenges, and Yellowstone presenting the family's last stand. 1923's depiction of the Dutton homestead reveals how the ranch evolved, showing the earlier struggles that contributed to its later downfall. Production-wise, the series utilizes a combination of historical accuracy and fictional storytelling. Filmed across multiple real-world locations, including Montana and Africa for Spencer's arc. With 1923 confirmed to conclude after Season 2, its final episodes will further define the Duttons' place in Yellowstone. The contrast between the two shows in terms of tone, setting, and character arcs emphasizes how each show operates within its own historical and thematic framework. Sheridan's expansion of the Yellowstone universe through spin-offs suggests that the Dutton story will continue beyond 1923, but its specific direction remains tied to what has already been established in the timeline. Sklenar's reaction to Yellowstone's ending highlights the challenge of portraying a character whose fate is indirectly shaped by events in a future series. 1923 exists in a different era from Yellowstone, yet its characters ultimately contribute to the downfall depicted in the main show. His comments also point toward how the prequel maintains its own identity while serving as a historical counterpart to the main series. As 1923 approaches its conclusion in Season 2, its connection to Yellowstone remains evident, but the series stands on its own as an exploration of the Dutton family's earlier struggles. When the final credits rolled on Yellowstone, fans across the world exhaled together, not just from the weight of a saga ending, but from the emotional whirlwind the Dutton family had become over 5 seasons. But amidst all the reactions, one voice stood out with a haunting clarity. Brandon Sklenar, who portrayed Spencer Dutton in 1923, the prequel that gave us a raw look into the legacy that forged John Dutton's ancestors. Now, with Yellowstone's conclusion marking the official end of the Dutton dynasty's screen legacy, for now, Sklenar is speaking out. And in his words, "It's a trip. Sitting in a dimly lit ranch house in Montana, fittingly, the very land where Spencer's soul once roamed, Sklenar reflected with the weary honesty of someone who had traveled as far emotionally as Spencer had on screen. "It's not just that Yellowstone ended," he said, his voice tinged with something like grief. "It's that everything we did in 1923, everything Spencer endured, suddenly it feels heavier. Like now we know where it all leads." For Sklenar, the end of Yellowstone wasn't merely the end of a sister show. It was the final dot at the end of a sentence his character had been writing with blood, sweat, and loss. From the battlefields of World War I to the untamed savannas of Africa, Spencer Dutton's arc in 1923 was one of trauma, survival, and redemption. But now, with the fate of the Duttons fully laid bare, land fairly held, legacies shattered, and bloodlines fractured, Sklenar admits that even he sees Spencer differently. "In the beginning, I played Spencer as someone running from his past. War, death, guilt. But now, I realize he was also running from a future that, no matter how hard he tried, was always waiting to swallow the Duttons whole." He laughs quietly, not with humor, but with a sort of cosmic disbelief. Spencer went through hell to get back to Montana. He faced lions, betrayal, and storms that should have killed him. He did it for his family, for the ranch, and now we see what it all came to. John Dutton fighting to keep a hold on it, only to lose it all anyway. You can't help but wonder, would Spencer have fought so hard if he knew? That's the irony Sklenar keeps returning to. The Duttons, as epic and mythic as they've become, are ultimately a family cursed by their devotion to the land. Spencer's journey across continents, his love story with Alexandra, and his return home were all framed as acts of honor. But now, with Yellowstone concluding in tragedy and uncertainty, Sklenar is grappling with the deeper consequences of legacy. "It's kind of like being told the ending of a book you're still writing," he muses. "You go back and read your chapters differently." One scene that especially haunts him now is Spencer's confrontation with his brother, Jacob Dutton. That moment where Spencer's told, "You're the one who will carry this family forward." I mean, that was a burden. A destiny. But the ending of Yellowstone kind of rewrites that. Because what did Spencer actually preserve? Sklenar admits he's gone back to rewatch parts of 1923, and it hits differently now. The silence in certain scenes, Spencer watching the firelight on his wife's face, or staring out at the horizon, it feels like he knew. Somewhere deep down, he knew that peace wasn't really possible. That land doesn't give you peace. It just demands more sacrifice. Yet even with this darker lens, Sklenar finds value in Spencer's fight. Spencer wasn't trying to win a war. He was trying to believe in something again. That's the tragedy of the Duttons. They all believed so hard that they could beat time. That if they fought hard enough, they could outlast it. But time always wins. Asked how he felt watching Yellowstone's final season, Sklenar hesitated. "It was surreal," he finally said. To see Kevin Costner as John Dutton fight that last, lonely battle, it felt like watching the ghost of Spencer's sacrifice. Like the echo of a promise he made echoing in the wrong direction. The Duttons, from 1883 to 1923 to Yellowstone, have become an American mythology. But Sklenar's performance gave that mythology a soul. And now he's carrying the weight of knowing where that soul ended up. I think if Spencer could see what happened to the ranch, to the family, he'd feel heartbreak. Maybe even guilt. Like he passed on a curse he thought he was curing. But would he have done it all the same? Probably, Sklenar said. Because love and duty are complicated. And that's what Taylor Sheridan captured so well. None of the Duttons are heroes or villains. They're just people trying to protect what they think matters most.